Alright, I'm back. I know it's been a little while since I've done a video. Um, Here in Idaho, where I live here, we have a real short window when it comes into spring to get stuff done. And well, spring sprung, and I gotta hurry up and get this stuff done before stuff starts settling in. One of the things I had to do, I have a flood irrigation here. It's what most people around here use. It runs off a ditch system. You get your irrigation water from the ditch. Well, my ditch comes across the top of the canal. It's a culvert with pylons that holds the culvert up, and my irrigation water comes across, and then I irrigate and water my lawn, my pastures, and stuff with it. Well, last year had a bunch of trees come down, a freak late spring snowstorm we got. Part of the joys of living in Idaho. It came down through the canal and wiped my culvert out, took my ditch out. So I didn't have water all last year. Yard and pasture didn't do so well. I got lucky enough that I didn't have to buy much hay for my horse. But, so anyway, had to wait until the water out of the canal was gone, which it don't leave until fall, late fall. And this year we got snow early, so basically I was shut down. I had to wait till spring. And like I said, I only have a couple of weeks, maybe days, before they throw water back in the canal, and I had to redig the pylons to hold my culvert up in the bottom of the canal through solid big rock gravel, concrete them in. It was a big old mess. And in fact, I finished it up just as the water started coming, so barely made that. But now I should be able to get water, so that's where I've been. So I haven't been able to get over to the shop and do anything on the 39. Also, I got stuff scattered everywhere here. The property we bought here, we got a smoking deal on this piece of property. 2.5 acres, I believe it is, with a 24 by 48 pole barn with a 16-foot door, shop door, just a basic pole barn, but that was already built on the property, brand new septic. It's already got the power run. And anyway, we landed into this property, but the back part of the property terribly overgrown with trees and everything. And every time the wind would blow good and hard, which it does here in southeast Idaho, we're kind of right in the corridor. If you don't like wind, don't move here, because we get a lot of it. Every time the wind would blow, I'd lose 3 or 4 trees. It was just overgrown, and they were at the end of their life cycles. But anyway, I had a guy who does firewood here in town. He came in and took the trees. He fell them all, chopped them up, and he sells the firewood. But part of the deal was is he left all of the limb, and he just took the, what he could use. But it didn't cost me anything. I was quoted on some of them $2,500 per tree. The ones that were real close to the power lines, and they were kind of scary to fall. And there was 36 trees they had to take out. So yeah, do the math, and whoa. Just cleaning up the timber out there was probably more than we paid for the property. So anyway, I had him come in. He knocked them all down. He spent 4 days here, 10-hour days chopping them up, and had 4-guy crew come. It was a mess. It was a total mess. But now, right after he got done, I was going to rent a chipper to set up and start chipping up all the branches. But as soon as he left, snow hit. So that was last fall. And where he was cutting and falling, well, that's kind of where I put all my projects. Cars, the stuff on the back burner. I line them all up back there so they're out of sight, out of mind. You drive by, you don't see, look like a junkyard here. And anyway, so that all happened, and I got shut down. So all my projects are all scattered everywhere. And I was talking to a friend of mine. He comes over to the shop all the time. I've been working on him for a C6 tranny, because I got a 460 that runs, but it's out of a pickup, actually out of the 1-ton. Is the motor out of the 87 that we built the 51 Chevy on. I got the motor and tranny of that still. Runs good, but it's the old granny gear, basically a 3-speed tranny. And I don't want to use that anything. For one, it's real deep, so it's hard to get a car low. I've got projects around here I can throw that in. Like I said, it runs real good. Oh, it sounded like somebody was coming. But anyway, been after him to sell me a C6 that he's got for that 460. Just a core, one he's had sitting there by his shop, and he's cleaning his shop up too. And I worked a deal on him. He wanted $200 for it. It needs gone through. It needs a shift kit put in it. It needs cleaned. It's been sitting outside, but under a, yeah, you get the idea. It just, to be on the safe side, pull it apart, go through it, make sure everything's clean, throw it back together, go with it. Oh, when I went over there to look at it, his wife was there too, and that, like I said, they were cleaning their property up at the same time. They had a motorhome sitting there, an old 78 motorhome with a 460 in it, C6 tranny. I said, well, what would you do for that? And he needed to get it out of there, and he told me, oh, $500 for it. Okay. So I'm filming now inside this 1978 Ford Chateau Class C motorhome with the 460 in it and the C6 I need, plus a rear end, I believe these are 373 gears in these. I might be wrong. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But I know these were stepped up a little bit for travel. It depends. Some of them are 411. Again, it all just depends. Sorry, I keep looking around because I ordered, back on my cleanup story, I looked at renting a chipper shredder. Granted, it's a good one. It's a 3-point that I hook onto my tractor, and then I could chip up all these old limbs that he left when he did all that wooden. On Amazon, I can buy a chipper for 400 bucks, or to rent one, they wanted 300 a day. And I got a lot, so it's going to be a couple of days. And with working and everything, I can take all week if I need to. I can come home, hit it for a couple hours, 2-3 hours, and work at my leisure with a chipper I own. So we bought it. I keep expecting it to show up any minute now, or any day. You know how Amazon works. They keep you guessing. But anyway, so if you see me looking around, that's I'm looking for the UPS or FedEx truck to show up. Anyway, so back to the story here. I bought this for 500 bucks. Another good running 460. It's got 68,000 original miles on it. I do know the history of this motorhome. We had a local country band out of here. They were called Wolverine Canyon. If you haven't heard about them, this is the short story on it. They were good. They were really good back in the early 80s, mid 80s. They played all over the place. Well, they got signed. So they bought this motorhome to drive to Nashville to get signed, do everything. And they drove them out there. They signed the deal. They cut a record. They went on tour for 3 months. The wives said, no, this ain't happening. They all quit. Came home. That was the end of Wolverine Canyon. And this is the motorhome that took them there. Took them back. The whole 9 yards. It kind of a local, I don't know, legend, fanfare, whatever. The guys from First that made it. And then they quit. But anyway, they were good. They were really good. Kind of that Alabama sound. If you get a chance, look them up. I'm sure you can find some of their songs. But anyway, so I ended up with the motorhome. It sat next to a haystack for years and years and years, and it just sat and sat and sat like a motorhome does. Well, the roof's done. There's no way you could make this back into a motorhome and still come out ahead. But like I said, it's good 460. The running gear's good, but it's another twin I-beam. I don't want to mess with that if I don't have to. But I've got other things around here. I've got a 50 Ford F4 dump truck. Big. I think it's 1.5 tons, F4. No, that'd be a 1-ton F4. Anyway, I might just strip this thing clear down and stick that cab on here and make it back into a dump truck. I don't know, but that's the plan for this 460, is for that 50 Ford. I got that one. I've got a 55 Dodge town wagon slash ton-and-a-half flatbed truck. Kind of thinking about marrying them together. It was supposed to have the Hemi in that Dodge, but it didn't. That's the only one I bought off the internet, sight unseen. Guy said it was all original. It's not. It's got a 68, 69, 318 LA block in it. That I've never heard run. I bought it for the cab. I bought it because of the Hemi, which it ended up not having. And the truck's rust free. Came out of the Oahe Desert. They used it for gold mining there in Silver City. Yeah, that's Silver City down there, an old ghost town. But and then I got the town wagon, which is kind of their Suburban. Dodge's Suburban, kind of, in a way. The plan is to use that for, I mean, it's stripped, there ain't nothing of it. I'll use that for the, kind of make a, I'm going to make that truck into like a Chevy Cameo. 55, 56 Chevy Cameos, if you remember them. That's kind of the look I'm going for on that Dodge. Again, I don't care what motor I put. The motor that I'm going to put in it is going to be the one that's running at the time. Dodge, whether it's that 318, might end up being this 460, might be that 460 over there. I don't know. It'll have something like that in it. Whatever runs. It's kind of the way I do things. The cheapest thing to use is the one that is cheapest to use. If it runs, throw it in there. A welder, plasma cutter, a cutting torch, anything will fit anything. It just takes a little ingenuity to do it. You can have a driveline made for whatever combination. So, anyway, I'm out here just kind of taking a break while I'm cleaning stuff up, getting ready for that shredder to come in. And thought I'd just make a short, quick little video on what's been going on. I'll get back on the 39 just as soon as I get my property cleaned up and all my projects back where they're supposed to be. Right now they're out in front where everybody can see them. The place kind of looks like a junkyard when you drive by. I don't like that. I want everything put back where it is. And now that I got those trees fell, now it's time to do it. Dad's been working on it a little bit. So I'll slip up and get some footage on what he's done to it so far. But other than that, I don't know. Well, I can kind of show you a little bit of it, I guess. It's kind of hard to see, but there's the 460. You can see she's definitely a Ford, 68,000. It's got a tilt wheel on it. That's nice. when we went over to get it, I was trying to start it, get it running, but the carburetor was plugged solid with dried up fuel additive. I mean, the floats were stuck straight down, the needle seat was rock solid. I did get it to fire and run on the squirt bottle. Well, she backfired and kinda went woof there a little bit. You can see it kind of ruined my Craco-matic tape deck stereo there, and kind of melted my cigarette lighter there a little when the flames come rolling up out of here. But anyway, it was nothing too major. It went right back out, but that was an interesting day, and so I just latched onto it and pulled it. The place where I got it from is just right over there, less than probably an eighth of a mile from the house, and that's where all of the trees were taken out of. If you can see out there, the windshield in this thing's pretty dirty. But anyway, there's the 460 C6 motorhome. So it's already got the RV cam in it, but it's made for torque, not for power. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to put the carburetor back on it, or probably put an Edelbrock on it, and when I throw it into something, that's what it's going to be. You can kind of see here, yeah, she's toast. Toast with a side of rye. Good old 1970s shag carpet and everything. But you can see how we get what we get for as little as we can get it. Oh, it looks like it's got a custom skylight there. Look at that. That probably explains that. But that doesn't matter. I'm stripping it. This whole thing will be recycled. The fridge did work. And I need one in my other motorhome, so that's good. And if the water heater works, I'll put that in the shop so I have a hot tank. And I'll do a video on that conversion on how to make a hot tank. I don't know, this might be a okay wash basin for the shop. My shop isn't plumbed, so I'm going to use like small stuff like this with the tank underneath it that I can take out and dump, because I don't want to plumb the shop. I'll wire it, but I'm not going to plumb it. But a little wash basin, you can wash your hands. With the hot tank, I can wash a carburetor after dipping it, you know, the basics. But you can see here, this will live again, but it won't live as a motorhome, that's for sure. When you're looking for stuff, keep your mind open. Sometimes you gotta look outside of the box, but if you keep looking and keep the voice out there, things come along. And you don't have to dump mega money into brand new crate motors and taking motors in, rebuilding them. You know, you're into it $4 or $5 grand, or even just a stock basic one. You know, you're in $3 grand. This runs and drives $500. Another 150, $200 in gaskets, because I will pull it apart and regasket it, make sure everything's good, throw it back in, you know, throw it all back together, throw the carburetor, 350, $400 for a carburetor. You know, all in all, $1,000, and I will be changing the Ford Motorcraft ignition to an HEI. I found on Fords that's the way to go. Solves so many problems. Or I might run that one for a while. I don't know. It's an option that's there. Just simplify it, throw it in something. But that's where I'm at. It's like the wind is definitely picking up out there, so I better get out there and get to work. But keep the metal hot.